As you see me today, I am the same size I was when I played football for Wake Forest University 40 years ago. 6'3", 225 significantly rearranged pounds. Perfect size for a wide receiver or a defensive back. Trouble was, I was an offensive lineman, a center, and 225 pounds was small even for those days. To make matters worse, I was one of the bigger guys that we had. 1970, we used an offense that we called the spread pro attack. The idea was to spread the defense out across the field and make them chase us. The only problem with that was we might have been small, but we were slow too. So when we challenged people to catch us, they did. There was one preseason publication that said Wake Forest is probably the worst college football team in the country. So, if we were the worst college football team in the country, it would only be fitting that we would open the season with the best college football team in the country. The eventual national champions that year, Nebraska, in Lincoln. I walk out into the stadium and I see 70,000 people all dressed in red. And I thought, I wonder if this is what the Christians felt like when they were being led into the Coliseum. So anyway, Wake Forest had the distinction that year. We were the only team other than Oklahoma that ever led Nebraska at any point in time. And the way that happened was Nebraska kicked off to us. Coach knows we got to pull out all the stops. We have to do everything that they do not expect us to do. So on the very first play of the game, he calls a quick kick. Now, if you're not familiar with the terminology, a quick kick basically is a punt when the other team doesn't expect you to punt. Quarterback took the snap, turns around to the halfback kicks this thing, it's an end over end, catches everybody by surprise, sails over the safety's head. This is maybe the best quick kick in the history of college football. The ball travels 83 yards and comes to rest on the Nebraska 3-yard line. On Nebraska's first play of the game, they fumble, and we recover on the 4. And 4 plays later, we kick the field goal from the 20. We shouldn't have ticked them off because it got ugly after that. So we lost that first game by a big margin. We lost the second game by a big margin. We lost the third game by a big margin. And we don't know what we're going to do. We come out to practice after the third game. Monday night, Coach calls us all around and says, throw away your playbooks. We need a new offense, preferably one that does not require size or speed. So the first thing we did was bring everything in tight. That brought the defense in tight, and that kind of negated their speed advantage because they couldn't chase us anymore. We were right there. They didn't have to chase us. Next thing we did was not block 2 people at the point of attack because we did not engage these people at all. That negated their size and strength advantage. Then we threw 3 ball carriers, 3 potential ball carriers at these 2 defensive unblocked men, and it became a shell game or a three-card monte. These two guys could only cover two out of those three. They had to guess which guy had the ball, and we had a quarterback that was an absolute magician at making them guess wrong. Because we didn't block two people at the line, we had a couple guys left over where we could double team, and even two little guys can slow down a big guy for a while. And every single solitary play, we gained 3, 4, 5 yards. 3, 4, 5 yards. Never more than 10, because then that speed thing came back into play. But it drove people absolutely crazy, because everybody we played knew that they were bigger, faster, stronger. They knew they were better than us, but they couldn't beat us. And we rode that offense to the 1970 ACC championship. Now, the point of this story is, even if you don't have a lot of resources or a lot of horsepower, there's a whole lot of stuff you can do if you've got a good game plan.